Rusty is a maintenance diesel who works hard keeping the lines clear for his friends on the narrow gauge railway. One day, Rusty was chuffing along when he saw a man waving a red flag. "What's happening?" asked Rusty's driver. "There's been a climbing accident," cried the man. "One of the climbers have fell down into the valley and broke his leg." "Don't worry," called Rusty. "I think I know where the climber is." So he took the track into the valley. Rusty rode bravely along the rocky track. And there was the climber. "Oh, thank goodness you have found me!" cried the climber. "Don't worry," hooted Rusty. "I'll soon get you to the hospital in no time." So the injured climber climbed aboard Rusty's boxcar, and Rusty took him to the nearby field where Harold the helicopter was waiting to take the climber to hospital. "Well done, Rusty," called Harold. "You are a hero to this railway." Rusty watched as Harold flew off to hospital. Then the fin controller arrived to see Rusty. "Well done, Rusty," he said. "You are a really brave diesel." "Thank you, sir," said Rusty proudly. Next day, Peter Sam was waiting at the station when he saw the fin controller talking to a man on the platform. Peter Sam tried to listen to what they say, but he couldn't hear them properly. Yes, I can take Rusty, sir," said the man. "I'll take him in 2 days' time." He made a note in his book. Peter Sam looked very pale. Later that day, he told the other engines what he had heard. "That man has said something about taking Rusty," he added. "But to where?" asked Renes. "I think I know what Peter Sam means," said Sir Handel. "Some people came and took us from our old line at the Mid-Sodor Railway. They took me and Peter Sam away." "But that was a long time ago," said Duke, "until the Finn and the fat clergyman have found me and let me join the railway with all of you." "We know," said Skarloey. "But what railway will Rusty be taken to?" "And who will take his place on the maintenance work?" added Duncan. The other engines fought for a moment. "Well, we've just got to make sure Rusty is too useful to leave this railway," puffed Skarloey. The other engines agreed. The next morning, Rusty was delivering empty trucks to the coal mine. When he arrived, Skarloey was there with loaded ones. "Hello, Rusty. You are doing a great job," he whistled. Thank you, Skarloey," said Rusty. He didn't expect Skarloey to be so respectful. But whenever Rusty passed the other engines, they all whistled at him, saying keep up the good work, and saying he is the best maintenance diesel ever. Rusty felt very puzzled. Later that day, Rusty was at the wharf shunting a flatbed loaded with poles. Thomas arrived to collect them for making new telegraph poles. "Why are you looking so puzzled, Rusty?" asked Thomas. Rusty told Thomas about his friends being so respectful. Just then the little engines arrived at the wharf and saw Rusty, and they all whistled very loudly. "Good going, Rusty!" Rusty jumped and shot forward. He bumped into his flatbed so hard it crashed into the buffers and poles went everywhere. "Oh my!" cried Rusty. "Cinders and ashes!" cried Thomas. Then the thing controller arrived. "What is going on here?" he said sternly. "Sorry, sir," said Skarloey. "We were only trying to cheer Rusty on," added Renez. "We don't want Rusty to leave Sodor," said Peter Sam. "He is the best maintenance diesel ever," added Duncan. Rusty was surprised. "But I'm not leaving Sodor," he explained. "I'm not going anywhere." "Then why did that man said to the thing controller about taking you?" asked Peter Sam. The thing controller sighed. "That man was a photographer," he explained. "He has come to take Rusty's picture for rescuing the climber. I would never send Rusty away because he always works hard keeping the railway running, and I'm always proud of him." The little engines were so relieved and were very happy. A couple of days later, the thing controller brought the visitors to see these little engines. There was one visitor who came to see Rusty. He was the climber with a broken leg. "Rusty," he said, "thank you very much for rescuing me." "That's no problem," smiled Rusty. Then the photographer took Rusty and the climber's picture. Skarloey and the other engines gave a big cheer for Rusty, the maintenance hero on the narrow gauge railway.